Hello, my name is Greg Ritchie, and I work for McGraw-Hill as a curriculum specialist. Over the next few minutes, I'd like to show you a video that can give a basic tutorial and kind of overview of the student digital platform for Impact K-5 Social Studies. You can see here that I'm logged on to a grade 3 account, but really this could be any grade, grades K through 5. Really clearly on my dashboard, I get to see how I can just, with one click, go to several different places. I'd like you to first notice over here on the left side, there's 3 buttons at the top and of course the exit button at the bottom. Really self-explanatory. We're on the home page right now. If I click on lessons, which we'll do in a minute, that'll take us to all the lessons, all of the instruction that's part of Impact Social Studies. And obviously if I click on past work, that'll take me to any past work that I've done in the past. Let's start here on the home page. You can see here at the top, here's a list of to-do items. These appear here because I'm part of a class in theory, and my teacher has assigned these 3 assignments for me to do. Down here, I can see 4 blocks of information that I can go to with just one click. 3 of them are labeled with an ebook: the Inquiry Journal, the Research Companion, and the Impact Explorer magazine. Those, of course, are ebooks, and they're the exact replication of what I would find if I was to look at the print book for Impact Social Studies. These are student materials, student components, all the content for a student. Instead of having it just in one book with everything there, we've kind of thoughtfully, purposefully divided the content into 3 different separate components that can be used interchangeably and really flexibly by me as if I'm a student, and certainly by my teacher as well. And then before that, I have a link to Impact News. We're going to end with Impact News here. So let's just first look at an ebook right here. I just simply click on this ebook, and then I get a pop-up window or an overlay window. So you can still see the background is still kind of that home page that I was looking at before. But here it opens up. This is exactly what the print book looks like. It's as if I didn't need to take have my print book home with me. I could literally just read it right here. This happened to open up to where I was last left off, chapter 1. I could turn the page here, and as I scroll over, it's as if I'm turning the page of a real book right there. All right, now if I want to zoom in, what I can do is come over here. I can click on album mode, or I just call it one page view. So I'm going to click on that. It zooms into one page, and now I can zoom in even farther if I want to see it up close and personal. I can see a vocab word right there. That's the same vocab word that, of course, I would be seeing if I was looking at the print book right there. So let's go ahead and zoom back out. And notice another icon that's up there, this one right here. This will read the entire page to me. So if I click that, it'll read the entire page. Sometimes, though, I don't want to have the entire page read to me. To have just a portion of the text read to me, what I need to do is just simply highlight the text. So let's highlight this little bit right there. And if I highlight that, you can see after I select it, then I get some options. I can actually do more than have it read, but there's the read selected icon right there where I could have it read to me. But I can also add a note to the page. I can bookmark, I can circle, I can highlight. There's a whole lot you can do. So I encourage you, if you're a student or a parent, certainly try it out to see how it works for you. Let's go ahead and zoom back out. So we see that, and then I'm going to click on this button again, and it takes us back to where we began. Now, from this ebook page, there's something else that's important to know, and that's over here with this icon right there, simply the table of contents, right? So you know what's going to happen if I click that, I click it, and then I get several options where I can now jump to a specific part of my book with just one click, rather than having to scroll page by page. One important thing I would like you to be aware of is these numbers right here are the numbers of this entire ebook. They don't necessarily coincide with the pages of this actual book as if I was looking at it in print. So you can see right here, for instance, I see page 31, this is page 30, but you see up here, it's page 50. This is just something that happens with technology. You'll notice a lot if you're familiar with PDF documents, where sometimes the PDF document number 1, the first page, is really not the first page that's labeled on that document, because sometimes preceding page 1, there's sort of those Roman numeral kind of introductory pages. Well, the same principle applies here too. So just be aware that maybe your teacher is going to say, open up to page 30 in your inquiry journal. If that's the case, this is the page that you want to be on. So just make note of that right there, as opposed to these numbers up here. All right, so that's a nice thing to keep in mind. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close out of that, and I encourage you to try that and experience that with both the inquiry journal and the Research Companion, and of course, your Impact Explorer magazine too. Whether you have these in print, you always have all of the content for you online as well. All right, so that's one way of looking at the content of all that material that's part of Impact Social Studies. Now, I'm going to show you another place you can look at the content in a different way, and that's under Lessons. When I go to Lessons, I click right there. It takes me to what I refer to, and our team and teachers and students around the country refer to as landing pages, where you think about all that content that comes from those 3 different resources. It's essentially individualized it or pieced it out or chunked it out into different parts where you can use, and your teacher can assign different parts of the content to you as they want without having to have you look at everything in a lesson. So if I come down here, I'm on a chapter landing page. You can see right there, Communities in Our Country and World happens to be the title of chapter 1 from grade 3. As I come down here though, I can see all these different categories: ebook, interactive impact. Oh, look, it's the same thing. Ebook, interactive impact, ebook, interactive impact. So I've got 3 different sections: green, orange, and then teal are my sections, all right? And you can see this one really kind of focuses on getting students engaged, or getting me as a student engaged. And if I click on this little arrow right there, I can see that it's going to take me to my inquiry journal, and when I open it up, it's going to open up right to this particular chapter. All right, now if I open up interactive impact, here's what I mean. Here's a lot of the content. Like there's the inquiry project. And if you're familiar with impact, you're familiar with those inquiry project-based learning that starts off every single chapter. So if I click on that, that's going to take me to just that one piece of the content. And sometimes a teacher is going to assign that to me as a student too, because that's all they want me to work on. So in that case, I would of course click on it from my to-do list, and then I would work through the activity. All right, and you can see it opens up in that pop-up window or that overlay window similar to the ebooks right there. And there's all sorts of other fun content, the chapter video, engaging, beginning with that essential question that starts everything. And then you'll see the same flow happens in the orange category and the teal category. All right, so here's kind of the ebook for the teal category. That's kind of the end of my inquiry process where I really take action and I make connections with what I've been learning. Up here in that middle section, the orange section, that's where I get to investigate and I get to go into my Research Companion as a student, of course, and my Explorer magazine, which I always have online, and really dive into some of that chapter level content to help answer the essential question. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this back up right there, and you'll see that. Now, one more button that you'll see on every landing page is this Launch Presentation button. Sometimes teachers essentially customize the presentation so that what they might ask me as a student to do, or you as a student to do, is to click on that Launch Presentation button, and it's beautifully kind of already in sync with the way and the content that they want me as a student to see it. So sometimes like they won't want me to watch the video yet, or they won't want me to do a particular activity yet. So they'll customize this, and all that the teacher will ask you to do is simply click on that launch presentation like this, and they'll see, or you will see, all of the resources that they're interested in having you work through for a particular lesson. You can see I can scroll through each resource right here. Like here's, an exact replication of the beginning of the chapter, just like I was looking at it in an ebook. And then I go to my next resource and I continue to work through it, all right? Now, if I open the tray, I can see everything that's ahead. Oh, cool, there's the video. My teacher wanted me to make sure that I saw that video, or listen to a song, or investigate, or whatever it might be. So that presentation that the teacher has and will often use during classroom instruction, whether distance learning or in-class learning, either way, they're going to often use this presentation so that they can kind of have a slideshow of all the content that they want to instruct on that day. I, as a student, you as a student, really get to see that same presentation. So that's how lessons work. That's what these landing pages are. Now, let me just show you another one. For instance, I was on a chapter landing page, but of course, within every chapter is a lesson. So if I click on a lesson landing page, you're going to see that same flow right there, where I have the green section where I become engaged. I have the orange section where I really start to investigate and answer the essential question. And then I've got the teal section down there where I get to reflect on what I've learned and maybe have a test in there, or really begin to take action on what I've learned. Plan your impact. That's a little introductory category up there. And of course, if I click on that, I'm going to learn all sorts of stuff to really give me an overview that might apply to me for that particular lesson or that particular chapter. All right, so that's your little introduction to how lessons work. Let's go back to the homepage. A couple other things I wanted to show you and give you a reference to. One is, of course, this to-do list right here. You can see that again. So if I click on this, it's as if my teacher wanted me to just focus on this one particular activity. They wanted me to go in here. Maybe it's graded, maybe it's not graded, but I wanted to spend some time learning about this word expedition. And sometimes there's some interactive activities I can do with it, like play this little wordplay game where I drag and drop. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. Here's a chapter test I can see. So I would click on Let's Go, and I could then take the test. Or if I wanted to go to Impact News, maybe my teacher wanted me to for sure learn about some new current events that are happening in our world today, and they wanted me to make sure that I went in and did that. So I could click on it right there because it's been assigned to me. Of course, I could also click on it from right here. Because I want to actually go through an assignment, let's actually just click on it right there, and then I can see that there's an icon. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it takes me to a new tab right here, a new window opened, where it takes me to Impact News, where I can read about different stories, about things that I should just know about as a student. Like, I should have some awareness, even if I'm in third grade, about what is the economy? What does that word even mean? What is the stock market? How does that affect my life? And then things that are happening right now in the world, like wildfires, or maybe what's happening with politics and the coronavirus. All right? These articles really are nicely tailored to me as a student in whatever grade I am. So let's go back here. Now I've looked at that assignment. I've read it. I've done what my teacher wanted me to do. So I'm going to submit that assignment. And now I'm ready to submit my work. Yes, I am. And now I can see that that's done. If I go up here to past work, you can see that I can now see that past work. Even though all I really had to do was simply open it and view it, it still shows up in my past work account right there. Well, I hope that has been a nice little overview for you to give you a little introduction as to what Impact K-5 Social Studies looks and feels like, how it looks and feels like for me and you as a student. Until next time, I wish you the very best.